Hello there, folks, and welcome to the stream. My name is Mike D'Angelo, aka That Tellest Guy, and I am joined by my co-hosts, Rihanna, and way down there is Luna. She'll be up here shortly, I'm certain. um, we got a nice little bed for her down there that we're trying out. We'll see how that goes. Today we are going to be talking about, as you can see on the screen, fantasy writing prompts. More than just the concept of them. Um, we at Tellest kind of took a few more steps and made some fantasy writing prompts that were readily available for other people of the nerd kingdom.
Yeah, what he said. Um, no, it's an important part of Tellest because, as you can see by that bottom photo, the tagline of Tellest has always been "The world is in your hands," and it's a inviting universe that uses multiple authors, and fantasy writing prompts was just a logical next step
Right.
because there's 1,000 stories that we want to tell, and you don't have time in your life to
Right.
tell every single one. So
Right. And you had mentioned, you know, we Tellest is the work of many fantasy authors, and in fact, the very first fantasy author that we've acquired the talents of throughout the years outside of the bubble, Aaron Canton, he came from a fantasy writing prompt. It was something that I posted to the fantasy writing prompt subreddit, and he submitted something, and I was like, "Hey, I'd like to work with you."
I
And
just learned that today. I did not know that. That's
yep,
awesome.
yep.
Very cool.
He thus far he's the only one who we've picked up like that. We've I think at this point we only really have one other outside the bubble storyteller, and that's Belena, who was a Fiverr collaborator, and then we ended up bringing her in for a couple of stories. But yeah, Aaron is probably our most prolific storyteller writing buddy, and at this point, almost have to fight him off making more stories than I do for the Tales of Tellest every time we run them, just because
Cute though.
I need to be the one. I need to have my name first on that list, and if he does more stories than me, then my name goes down.
And it's my baby. I made it.
So fantasy writing prompts ended up becoming more than just that concept on the fantasy writing prompts web subreddit. We decided that what we wanted to do was make something that was a tool for people to be able to use. So we went on a brief hiatus when I was working at Kenton, but since I had a mental refresh and everything at the new job that I'm at, we ended up making enough content to bring us through to the rest of this year. Now, of course, we're doing this at the end of the year, so there's only 2 weeks left, and I have to get on top of things again. But as you can see here, we do weekly fantasy writing prompts. We always associate a little picture with it, and then we'll show you real quick what it looks like to get one of these fantasy writing prompts and get in front of it. So basically, it's the way that I build my writing prompts is I give somebody something very narrow and then begin to broaden the scope in the kind of, you're doing both. You're broadening and narrowing depending on the point of view, and I'm trying to let people make the idea their own, and then if they need to, they can kind of jump off of any of the ideas that I formulate here. So the very first thing that we do is give them a one word prompt. So can you jump off of anything with the word weapon? And if not, then we go into a kind of a deeper prompt here. So in this case, for weapon, it's war is coming to the kingdom, and the monarch is prepared for the worst. They're considering a conditional surrender to ensure the safety of their people, but one of their advisors asks for a chance to show them a weapon they've been working on. What is this weapon, and how will it change the tide of battle and save the kingdom?
Biochemical warfare.
In fantasy.
In fantasy.
It's definitely a thing. We've seen it happen. I mean,
that's the crossover for zombie apocalypses in fantasy settings.
Right. Wasn't that how the White Walkers came to be?
Pretty much.
So,
Luna skedaddled.
You guys are weird.
She might be in the other room.
And then after that, what we try and do is lead people to, a little bit of a deeper concept. So, for instance, we do these ideas and questions that kind of, again, kind of narrow the focus and give them ideas that, maybe it wouldn't have been something that they would have reached on their own.
Yeah, because if you're a seasoned writer and you have like a huge imagination and you're not stuck for ideas, you're probably not going to be reading a writing prompts. Like, if you could take the word weapon and run with it on its own, but this is for,
Right.
It's an exercise. Like, dig into the questions, see, like, what the prompt is doing, and then respond to it as a, maybe it's an exercise, maybe it turns into your own book.
Right.
Like, whatever it is.
Right, and to that point, it can be for seasoned writers. Like
as an exercise.
Right. It's something that you could use to kind of get outside of maybe your regular comfort zone where you're writing the same things. And this kind of tweaks the way that you think briefly, and gets you into that zone. One of the other things that you can use the fantasy writing prompts for is you don't have to use it for a story or a book or anything like that. You can use it for your tabletop experience.
D&D.
Right.
Yeah.
So this might be
cool.
just the thing that helps you go, all right, I've been running the same campaign and really nothing has changed for the past 6 months. Let's go to the Fantasy Writing Prompts website and see if there's anything that pops and, makes me think of something that'll enrich the experience on the tabletop.
I like it.
Yep. And then the last thing that we do for all these prompts is we pitch a challenge to people. And that is kind of an even further narrowing down. So if weapon was what this was, then it's the greatest victories sometimes requires the greatest sacrifices. Write a story about this weapon, but include the notion that someone must wield it or activate it and might suffer permanent consequences because of it.
The plague.
I was thinking kind of like Iron Man and his snap.
That's true.
something like that. Like you have a possessed sword and you know that when you wield the sword it's going to turn you undead or something like that. Right. So it's the solution of change. Like if you're doing your biochemical warfare kind of situation, you're turning everybody else back to human, but you're turning yourself to an undead, and whatever happens, that kind of thing. So with that in mind, that's our little peek at one of these. But as you can see, again, we go back and we look at these weekly. So every one of them has a fun little picture and everything like that.
Tellest has so much art to be able to make it make sense.
There's the weekly. So if you click the weekly tag, you can see all these things. And you can go to previous. And you can keep going back and back and back and back.
And these are all available in perpetuity.
Yeah, yep. They'll always be available to people. These are different. We'll talk on the back half of this Talking Tellest episode about the other thing that we did. But this is these prompts are different than the prompts that you get in the other thing. We wanted to keep them separate so that there wasn't an overlap or anything like that.
It's just a permanent free archive.
Yep. So if you have
website.
Yep, if you have anything that you want, and we try and kind of theme it to the time of year usually. So like October 19th, the writing prompt was Crypt because it was close to Halloween. I guess October 19th, 2020 was when it all started, and then there was that big jump from 2020 to 2022, and then there was another jump halfway through 2022 to the middle of this year. But not too shabby, all things considered. Was it April 11th, 2022, and then July 10th, 2023?
I don't know the answer to this, so I'm just asking if they click on it, like if they click on your...
If they click on read more?
Yeah, is there any opportunity for them to, like, send you their response? We
had at one point talked about, not for the weeklies, but having a monthly prompt that was contest based.
Oh, okay.
We ran it for a little while and nobody entered, so I think we need to same thing as like the fan art stuff. Like we need to build a bigger fan base
when
before.
This is on YouTube, go on there in the comments, people, and write the freaking thing that you...
I need like a whole mess of people who pay attention to these kind of things. So but there is like the comments down here, be the first to submit a story. So you could,
so there is a submission thing.
Yeah, so you could submit it, like it could be like on your own blog or something like that. But yeah, cool. for the most part, it's just something that that's
just a little freebie.
Just a little freebie. You can use it for your own, your own adventures and things like that. And here's co-host number 2.
I'm not going to pick you up today, okay? I'm sorry.
I think this is the perfect opportunity, after we see her for a few moments, to cut to our sponsors. We actually have 2 sponsors today, and I would like to make sure that...
Making this not appropriate.
Excuse us while we deal with technical difficulties. One of the most prolific lit RPG authors out there right now is Aaron Renfro, and we're going to be talking about his new book and his most popular series, The Resonance Cycle. Torn Shroud is the 5th book in the series, and it will be out at the end of this week. The perfect treat for yourself before Christmas. This second trilogy's sophomore title ramps everything up a considerable amount, but doesn't overdo it to the point when you don't worry about the characters or wonder about the possibility of failures. All in all, it's an immersive and exciting story. Check out the promo on the Tellest website this week. The master of the sci-fi anthology, Brian Mayfield returns with an emotionally charged look at alien life and universal values. This latest anthology is the deepest and richest look at the worlds that Mayfield crafts, and it puts the author's passion for storycraft on full display. Everything within this collection oozes with personality, and it makes the various worlds come alive in ways that most people wouldn't consider. Mayfield then finds common ground with the reader by showing how the various perspectives align with our own. Do yourself a favor and check out this book, and check out the promo on the Tellest website this week. We should be back. There's no more
doggy in
no
here.
more wardrobe malfunctions or anything. So the second thing that we're going to do is show off something that came out earlier this year. This was the probably the busiest Tellest year that we've ever had, between 2 prose books coming out and the first trilogy book in 10 years, the first children's book, and then the nonfiction book, and the Kickstarter that we're currently running. It's been and the convention that we went to, It's been by far the busiest Tellest year. I am spread so thin.
Yeah, but you're happy about it. That's
very, very happy about it.
He changed jobs. He got a job that he very much likes, and it's less soul crushing, which is nice. It's hard to find nowadays.
Right. It's giving me more mental energy when I get home, so I have a lot more time to deal with these things. Now, I will say this. This is for this show only, so not next week's, not the previous week's. I haven't been writing as much these past couple of months because without Peanut here, it's been tough to write, especially because the stories that I'm writing are holiday themed.
Yeah.
And
for those of you who don't know, Peanut is our kitty who passed away on my birthday this year in June, and it was a devastating situation. We are comforted by the fact that she was over 20 years old and had a long, healthy, happy life, but
how selfish of you to demand that she die on your birthday.
I know. It was all me. 100% me. My decision. I said, when's a good day to die? The day of birth.
Right.
I didn't do that.
Agree wholeheartedly. That was exactly what you did. So on the screen right now, you should see we actually published a book of 100 fantasy writing prompts that are done the same way as the website. The only thing that you're missing in this book is the pictures.
But you have the nice wizard on the front.
Right. The most stolen picture in our catalog. We put Gaston on the front of the 100 fantasy writing prompts, and you can get it in paperback too. And the paperback book looks really nice. And so it's just 100 of our best fantasy writing prompts we went through, made sure that they were pretty good. But I do want to bring to your attention that we do have a review, and it's the nicest 3-star review that I've ever had. Because Jennifer Fisher says that it wasn't what she was looking for. She didn't know what she expected, but it wasn't these. They weren't really what she was looking for. There should have been more magical creatures. Although the author did a good job on them and they were written with care. So I've taken that advice to heart. 20 of the prompts in volume 2 are going to be magical creatures related. Medusas and dragons and unicorns and vampires.
I am, as a wife who doesn't like anyone to negatively critique you.
That's a good critique.
It is nice, but I think 3 is harsh. I do. I think that was perhaps a 4-star.
Well, I mean, and you and I have talked about these kind of things before. The review for the quality is not quite the review for the expectation.
Well, personal preference is different from quality. So
Right.
I appreciate the kind words, but I would have liked another star. At least.
So
3 is harsh.
If anybody is watching on YouTube when this comes there, throw me some love. Go here, read it on Kindle Unlimited. Give me some nice reviews so that we can get more of these out there in the world. But, would you like a sip of water?
Please. Hydro homies.
She's back.
Oh no. Hi, baby. It's always good to see you.
She also wanted a sip of water.
They have water.
So should we reveal our plans for fantasy writing prompts and its follow-ups, or should we make this episode a very brief one?
Reveal.
Nah, you don't get a vote. You don't have opposable thumbs.
I was gonna say just reveal bullet points, not details.
Well, what's the bullet points? The idea.
There's gonna be more.
There's gonna be more. Do we want to talk about our
sure.
cover ideas?
So the idea is there's going to be a.
So Kev says, when was there time to go to the bathroom, though, in reference to my very first poor review, which was when somebody was not happy that no one did anything in the bathroom. No pooping, no showering, no showering while pooping.
No bathroom breaks. And
no baking.
No baking and no bathroom breaks. The covers of the additional fantasy writing prompts will feature other well-known mages in Tellest, and that is enough of a statement.
That's it. Kev, thank you for appearing just as we're about to close shop today, because today's Talking Tellest is very quiet. And the reason that it is because later this week we're going to have a bonus Talking Tellest, because there ain't no way we're going to do a Talking Tellest on Christmas.
Right.
So,
but it'll be a adorable one that you're going to want to tune in for if anyone is able to. It features these little loud babies, all three of our fur babies, Zelda, Luna, and Peanut.
Yep.
And, ow!
You didn't think about
Zelda,
Maisie because
Luna,
you
and
buried her
Maisie.
under a blanket.
I'm so sad. He's been here since the start.
I've been here since the start.
I've been here the whole
time. Kev wants to really watch Dropout stuff, but doesn't know when to dive into the app. Oh, the answer is now.
Yeah, seriously, you got a little bit of time before they have the new seasons of a bunch of stuff. So get on that. It's only like $5 or $6 a month.
You are so impatient.
She really is. But it's going to be interesting. We're going to have the camera on their level. We're going to have them in their little Christmas jammies. It's going to be adorable. So tell your friends.
Tell your friends. Tell your mother.
Tell your mother.
All right. I do. I have doggy schmutz from earlier.
Our whole house is doggy schmutz. There's no escaping.
So this is important, all right? This is for everybody. I really need to do a second button of this because it makes sense to have one for YouTube, and I don't think, or whatever. Anyway, follow on Twitch. Because if you follow on Twitch, I get one step closer to being an affiliate, and then we can do some really cool stuff. Like you can have a parasocial relationship with me and tell me when to drink water instead of me deciding on my own.
We got a game with an electric potato, so we can.
Rihanna and I will play with the electric potato.
We will shock ourselves.
Silly
for your entertainment, please.
You don't have the points to tell me to drink, Kev.
But I won't.
Did Kev Pavlov you?
A little bit.
So that will be it for today. We are going to real quick slide over to our show closing page. Kev, thank you for joining us. Let's head over to Be thirsty. Be thirsty. All right. So, folks on the screen right now, I'm thirsty. Folks on the screen right now, you should see all the places that you can find all your Tellest goodness. Most notably is probably the website, which you can get to at Tellest.com. That will usually lead you to a lot of the other cool things that we're doing. There's a lot of like sidebar widgets that we put up there for all the things that have most recently come out. Any of the digital goodies that you want to find, you can find them on patreon.com/Tellest. That's usually our battle maps, our art features. I just realized that I'm late for another one because I was rushing around to get too many of the things done today.
That's
the Kickstarter passed 1,500 today, and I had to update everybody on that because we just did another stretch goal, so I needed to finish an update for that. But anyway, if you want to find these things after Twitch purges them from the platform after however long they let them keep it up here. You can find that stuff on youtube.com/@worldoftellest. But if you want to see us live, you can only see that on twitch.tv/thattellestguy. Again, remember to follow. It'll bring my numbers up, and then I can do an affiliate stuff. And then any of the physical premium stuff that we want to do, I'll get to you, Kev. Any of the physical premium stuff that you want to find, you can find that at tellest.etsy.com. That is our jumbo battle maps, our mouse pads, our posters, our stickers, Rihanna's Weird Witch Wands, our tabletop game, and the art book, all that good stuff. And the fantasy writing prompts book should get up there soon too. I just realized if it's not up there already. And then there's two places that you should find us on TikTok. One of them features our third co-host. That is tiktok.com/@talesofTellest. That's TAILS. That's the only one that like the starburst kind of like makes it that you can't read what's going on up there. And then the other one is Rihanna's Weird Witch Wands. That's tiktok.com/@WeirdWitchWands. So before we close up, I do want to say, Kev said get that Kickstarter to 2,000. I don't know if that's possible, but when 48 hours, when it's down to that wire, that's when all bets are off and things get crazy. So you never know. But in any case,
I was gonna say something, but I literally, as I opened my mouth, I forgot. So.
Your mouth had the idea that your brain lapsed.
No, don't you make fun of my mommy.
All right. Well, that is going to be it. Thank you, Kev, for joining us. Thank you for all the folks who joined and were quiet. And thanks for the people who watch this later on YouTube.
Love you, bye.
I miss you.
Miss you. Oh, you want chocolate milk?
I do.
Okay.